Hello and welcome again to Creative Connections. Today I was in the studio and some people came by and they said they wanted to talk. So I want to welcome you. You are Abby?
Yes, I am. Abigail Brewster. How do you do?
Very nice to meet you. And you are Teddy?
Teddy only answers to Mr. President. So, yes. He thinks he's Roosevelt.
Oh, Mr. President.
President Roosevelt, thank you.
Bully. It's an honor, sir. Honor,
yes.
Sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Dr. Einstein.
Yeah.
Okay, so what brings you by here?
Well, we're just visiting. We're checking out some real estate, actually. We do own one of the oldest homes. Well, me, own one of the oldest homes in Brooklyn, but we are checking out some real estate in other places.
Okay.
Our home's getting a bit crowded.
I am a traveling companion with her sister and brother, nephew and brother, and we go all over the world, and now we come back to Brooklyn.
Okay, so...
And I'm just returning from a cabinet meeting. I'm on my way to Panama.
Oh, okay. What are you doing in Panama?
Well, I'm digging locks for the new canal, of course.
How silly of me. So, how small is your house that it's getting crowded with the
Not
three
so
of
much
you?
the upstairs, but the downstairs getting a bit crowded with the several new locks that have had to be dug in the canal. Yellow fever, you know.
Oh.
Isn't that right, Mr. President?
Yes, there's been a lot of yellow fever victims lately.
There have.
Oh. So, are you treating the yellow fever victims, or?
No, I am not the type of doctor that deals with disease. I fix faces. I can make you beautiful face.
Bully!
No one recognize you. It would be fantastic. You could get away with murder.
Well, I'm not quite sure. I mean, let's face it. Murderers don't just walk around. There's not murderers like here in the studio or anything.
Of course not. It's more of a charity, a kindness, you might say.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, so are you fundraising for the charity, or?
Well, not exactly fundraising. We're just helping people to a happier place. There are so many lonely people in the world. Isn't that right?
Many. Have you by any chance changed his face?
I just met him today with
He
you,
looks
Mr. President.
familiar. This telegraph machine we're on, this telegram station, this allows us to reach many people, many of my citizens.
Yes, many of your citizens. You could even say it's a bully pulpit.
Well, there's a danger, I must say. To the west, there lies your enemy.
Teddy.
There's your danger.
Teddy!
Belchertown.
Now, Teddy, let's not talk of Belcher Town.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let's pick a nicer subject.
this is a family show.
Yes.
So, you're running out of room, so you're looking for a new place?
Yes, we're thinking of expanding. No, somewhere with a larger basement, perhaps.
Okay.
Well, you have a very nice operating theater in your basement that I'm hoping to use. You see, their father was a doctor and experimenter, and I'm hoping to turn it maybe into a beauty parlor to help people of Ware come with new faces so that they can do whatever they wish to do with it.
No. I'm not fond of that idea. I mean, what would the neighbors say? People coming in with one face and going out with another. Not a good idea.
Not so much talk about faces and more about the canal, Aunt Abby.
Yes, Teddy.
Okay. So, as you may have guessed, we are here to talk about Arsenic and Old Lace. And we have Abby is Debbie.
Hello.
And Mr. President is Alan.
Hello, everyone.
May I now call you Alan, Mr.
Yes, you
President?
may.
Thank you.
Once his hat's off.
And Dr. Einstein is Gio.
Yes.
So, for those of people who are not familiar with Arsenic and Old Lace, what is the show about?
It's a wonderful film starring Cary Grant. Who doesn't love Cary Grant? It's about these two lovely sisters who are old maids, and they have found a way to help poor, lonely old men to a happier way of life with just a little sip of their special elderberry wine.
Which I would assume might perhaps have the titular arsenic in it.
Just a titch.
Okay.
And some strychnine and some cyanide.
Right.
It's a good kick.
Okay. All right. So, and Teddy lives in the house.
So yeah, insanity kind of runs in the family, you could say. So the protagonist, Mortimer, who's not here, is trying to navigate a family of very interesting characters. And so many of them he's related to, many show up in other ways, as does Dr. Einstein. And so a lot of the play, it's madcap screwball comedy, and it's just empathizing with the main character, Mortimer, and how is he going to get through this situation.
Okay. And as I recall the movie, Mortimer is not handling it real well.
No.
Not at all.
Mortimer's having a hard time with some of his discoveries.
Okay. So, how did you guys get into this play? Did you audition for this?
Yep.
And what was that process like?
Well, we held auditions, and normally what they do is you go and a lot of it was cold readings, which means they gave us a script and we read from the script, probably with a couple other people there, and then they figure out who's the best for each spot and who goes the best with each character.
Okay.
So.
And, I would have to say that looking at you guys, they apparently have made some really good choices because you look the roles that you're playing, which is really nice. What are the challenges of doing a play that people might be so familiar with in the movie form?
That is a challenge because when you do a play that's been done so many times and the show is so popular that you want to do it justice. Mm-hmm. You really want to make sure you hit the comedy. Some of it is outdated, but some of it, especially for the younger, but it's written in such a way where it's just funny for everyone, just because of the delivery and the slapstick kind of comedy that there is.
Yeah, there's visual, and the writing is really good.
The writing is good.
And so the fun challenge of this is to bring it to every audience. So you can bring a family, and there's enough just humor that the little kids can laugh. The teenagers will kind of get some of the jokes and some of the play, and then the people that are familiar with it, or history buffs even that know that time frame, they can really enjoy the references to the character. So there's something for everybody, and that's what's fun doing a show like this.
I seem to recall I was about 4 or 5 years old the first time I saw the movie. not first run, I'm not quite that old. But even at that age, I could appreciate the humor. But then, like you say, as I watched it more times as I got older, there were things that you didn't get when you were 5 that you began to get.
Right.
So, particularly with your role in Dr. Einstein, I think a lot of people closely associate it with Peter Lorre.
Sure.
How do you make that role your own and not find yourself trying to play Peter Lorre playing Dr. Einstein?
Well, true confession time. I've seen the movie once after I got cast in the play.
Okay.
Did a little research. So, at least for me, I'm coming in without the history of the play and of the movie. So I'm coming in a lot colder than otherwise. So it's not like I'm picking up Macbeth or Hamlet, something that's a little more well known. So it's given me the ability to kind of do whatever I want with it. And one of the things that's particularly interesting about my character is I'm the henchman of the main villain. I get to work off of the main villain, and his interpretation is very different from the movie version. And so we're building our own dynamic. He's kind of doing a little like a Jekyll and Hyde sort of moment, sort of play with it, where he's presenting himself as presentable and sane and normal, but then he goes psychotic at the drop of a hat. And most of the time, my job is just to be like, it's okay, it's fine, we don't need to murder these people. At least not till tomorrow, I haven't slept yet. Okay,
so you're sort of the perhaps slightly dubious voice of sanity.
Yes. I'm also very much willing to go with, and in some cases even encourage. But I complain a lot. And so that's kind of gives me where the character's coming from, is I'm reluctant, but I'm enabling. So, and from there, that's where the comedy comes in. A little bit of a twist, and this is a tragedy, and rather than a comedy, this is an abusive relationship rather than a comedic one.
Right.
So,
yeah.
And one thing that really makes it work is that it's like if it was just comedy and just slapstick, then you can make a cartoon out of it. But there's a real love, there's a real affection of the family characters in this. So you actually have this feeling like the character really does want to help his crazy brother. He wants to protect his aunts. The aunts really look out for the brother. Even the relationship between Einstein and Jonathan, there's a bond there. So the reason you can laugh and the reason you can continue to laugh, if it's just slapstick, then 10 minutes and you're kind of done with it. But you invest in, it's family. It's insane, but it's family, and there's some real caring, and it's parallel to the process we feel spending time together. A lot of us didn't know each other at all, and that's what's a fun part of community theater is kind of engaging in that.
It's not just the community that the theater is based in, but the community of the people working on the play.
Right.
Yeah.
It's been fun for us because there are a lot of aha moments with the younger people who have never seen the show before, and they go, what? And then as the joke goes on, oh, right, okay, yeah. But it's that love. Like the aunts don't think they're doing anything wrong, and they want to take care of Teddy, and Jonathan knows what he's doing, but he doesn't care. And Mortimer's just trying to keep everybody under control.
Right,
so it's that,
No, I definitely had that moment. When I first read through the play, I'm like, okay, I get that. This is a comedy. I can see the points where there could be some slapstick and a little more physical as well. But I definitely didn't fully get it. But as we've been putting this together, as we learn to build off of one another, the number of times we're off stage and, listening to whoever's doing their lines and just snickering or in some cases laughing. Very much at our fellow castmates.
Yeah. So your role, I would think, would be particularly challenging because everybody else in the play is off but tries to appear normal. Your character there's nothing normal about Teddy.
Well, and that's the way to approach it. So he was kind of joking about method acting, but I really become somebody who really thinks he's the president. So you're pretending to be somebody who thinks he's somebody else, and that's the way you kind of have to take that character on. And there's so many wonderful characters in the play. Like, it was interesting that you said it looks like the casting was good, but a lot of it we've become who we are. Like, you could have cast many people in different roles, and I think they still would have approached that character another way. But yeah, the Teddy one is interesting because he also is in his own world a lot of the time anyway. He doesn't follow really what's going on. He knows that there's certain things he'll react to, and other times he just kind of occupies himself.
Yeah, because it seems to me, as I recall, there are times when things are going on around Teddy, and he's totally oblivious to it. And, I guess I'm easily distracted. And I would have a hard time, not kind of reacting to the other things going on around me. So that I would think that would be a little bit of a challenge.
Yeah, but he's off stage a lot too, which helps.
Okay.
Which is, so he's not having to be there that whole time in his own world. So sometimes he's referred to a lot. I hear the name often, like, oh, is it time for me to go on? But what it really is it's the character is important to the plot, but the stage time isn't as important. So a lot happens kind of what you're talking about. A lot of that is off stage.
Okay.
What I love about your Teddy is that he comes off as, I don't want to say childlike, but more naive maybe a little bit. You love life to the fullest. And I love watching the almost innocence in some ways of your character. I'm going to go do this thing. It's a secret thing. I need to go tell the Secret Service and put on my secret proclamation.
Change my clothes.
I love that interpretation that you're bringing into it.
It's wonderful.
That is just absolutely fun to watch.
Well, and he's a child, and he wouldn't be able to feed himself. I mean, that's why he has his aunts.
He's our baby. We take care of him. We don't go anywhere without Teddy.
And your role has its own challenges, because you're the sweet little lady who just happens to be murdering people.
Oh, no, not murder. It's a kindness, really.
But, it's a very off from the norm type of thing. But
one where Mortimer goes, "Who is this?" And, "Oh, it's Mr. Hoskins." It's like, "Oh, there's a dead body in there." Okay, so what? Let's have dinner. I had to put him in there. The minister was coming. It's like.
Okay. Yeah. So the play is going to be held April 26th and 27th at 7 p.m. and the 28th at 2 p.m.
Correct.
And that's going to be at the Ware Town Hall.
Right.
And tickets are $15, I believe. And you can get them online. You can get them at the door, but get them. Definitely. So when you're putting together something like this, how hard is it to, again, being familiar with the movie, like Teddy's charging up and down stairs and all that. How do you do the sets to fit in with community theater and yet get that sense of the large space?
That's the challenging part. We have a lot of really good people that we had a place that donated some things to us, but we have a lot of really good people that help build set and do set designs, and I know Alan spent a lot of time planning out the set. They do give you a little diagram in the back of the book, but that doesn't always work out with the kind of stage that you have. It's like, this is the way to set it up. Oh no, we can't. We have this and this and this, but we just kind of build the walls and build up and platforms and things. It comes together much better than you would think. It's not easy, that's for sure.
And that's Alan, the director, but I still have trouble with Legos.
Yes,
so.
yes.
Right.
But we have several great people who just put everything together, and a lot of it's, make believe and point and pretend you're running when really you're going to stop right before that wall.
Right, right.
And it's fun when we come across, oh, that's a great chair.
Right.
Looks perfect.
Yep.
Oh, that's a great costume piece that we had in storage.
Exactly.
That just fits
fun.
a particular character. And then there are those moments of, this is the best we got. Let's make it work.
It's perfect.
And so sometimes it, yeah, right, but and we make it perfect,
Right.
we make it fit, and that challenge is a challenge, but it also is part of the fun.
It is. It's part of the creative process.
Yep.
It's fun, especially in community theater, a small community theater like Ware, a lot of us do a lot of it. Like everybody
Right.
helps with costumes, everybody helps with building, and we all get together and say, how do you think this would work or that would work? And like Alan was saying, a lot of us didn't even know each other. But
Okay.
now we get on stage, and it's like the woman who plays my sister, she's wonderful. We've gotten to the point where we just kind of move together now. We just
Okay.
kind of know that we just kind of move together, just as
Yeah.
one almost.
Yeah.
It's it.
And that's when the leadership comes in. That's when it's good you have a director. So Alan
Yes.
directs us,
Right.
and we have a
And-
stage manager and producer.
Yeah.
So it's
Right,
like
exactly.
So that allows the actors to dabble in it, but it also you need the leadership
Right.
in order
Right.
for something to.
Yeah. and,
Somebody to rein us in.
Yeah, Alan Whitney is the director, and he is actually in the studio, but we ran out of microphones, so he is
Hi, Alan.
conveniently off camera. But it seems to me that it's important to have somebody who can see the order and kind of in a play like this bring the chaos out of the order. So what impressed me at the very beginning of the show when you were all in character was how well you worked together. And it was improvisational. Based on the characters, but, very much improvisational. And the way you just interacted with each other was so perfect. Interacting well, and yet you were each individuals. And I think that shows a dedication that you've put into creating these characters and becoming these characters. I'm assuming that you're not running around wearing that hat at all times.
Crossing the street was a little challenging, but yes.
They did stop for you.
But there's sometimes people act. If you do a lot of theater, people say, "What's your favorite role?" And it's the one you're currently doing. Like you have to end up loving who you are. So even if you're maybe not cast as the part that you auditioned for or something like that, you end up feeling lucky. Like, I'm so glad I got this part because this is the part. This is who I need to be in this show. And any show that I've done, I end up getting the best part because it's the part that I've grown to love. And this is no different.
Yeah.
And I think, my fellow castmates also.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So, out of curiosity, for each of you, what is the last role that you did prior to this play?
Oh gosh. What was my last one? Oh, I do a lot of dinner theater, and I played a woman who does one of those ghost hunting shows.
Okay.
So so I played the ghost hunter lady.
All right. Now
And I was Herr Schultz at a Young Company's production of Cabaret at the Jewish Community Center in Springfield, and they needed an older person, like over 35, they said, to play the old fruit seller. So that was a lot of fun. I got to work with a lot of young people in that place.
Okay.
It's a great group.
And for you?
Last November, I was in Welcome Home, which was put on over here at Workshop
at
13.
Workshop 13.
Yeah.
I thought you looked familiar. I saw that play.
Yeah, no, that was a very different play, as it was an adaptation of true stories of 4 different veterans
Right.
processing their trauma around a campfire. So that is a very, very different experience
And
from the
that,
one here.
right.
Right.
And that's exactly why I asked that question. Because, to go from the roles you had last and to come into this role and to make this role yours and to sort of live in that role and leave behind the last character that you were is, to me, I think, a wonderful challenge, and one of those things that makes actors the unique people that they are is that ability to switch gears and to do something totally different from what you're currently doing, and to do it so well.
That's the fun of it, to get to be somebody else. That's why you hear about a lot of actors that are shy in real life, like us. We're really shy.
No, that becomes very
evident.
obvious, yeah.
Because they get to be someone else.
Yeah.
Please
That's
let
just
us go
fun.
back into character.
But yeah, so
Yeah, so, I really do encourage people to come out to see this play, because
enjoy it.
Nothing to me is better than live theater, because there's an energy that you get that you don't get from the movies. And there's also just that unexpected, because life is life, and sometimes little things go wrong.
Oh yeah.
And I am sure that there are times when you have to just sort of improvise. I remember back when I was in high school, they were doing Harvey, and they were waiting for the phone to ring. And finally, the actor says, "I'll bet this phone's ready to ring," and he picks it up and says, "Hello," because somebody missed their cue.
Oh, yeah.
So those things happen, but I think that's the beauty of live theater. Alan was asking me, if we can edit this, and we don't edit this show.
That's great.
The way it happens is generally the way it's shown. But I think that really adds to the experience, because when you don't have a do-over, you make the most of whatever happens.
You do. And with live theater too, you may come to see a show twice and see a different show.
Yeah, I can imagine so.
Yeah.
So the show again is Arsenic and Old Lace. It is at the Ware Town Hall. It's going to be April 26th and 27th at 7 p.m. and April 28th at 2 p.m. And I've been talking to Abby or Debbie, Teddy or Alan or Mr. President.
Thank you.
And Gio or Dr. Einstein. And I again encourage you to go see them, go see Arsenic and Old Lace, and tune in next time for Creative Connections.